Welcome to the second episode of whatever the fuck this is. We got Margaret Laufenberg again, my girlfriend.
Hi, happy to be here.
If you're wondering if there's any other guests ever invited, yes, there are. But for the time being, I think that she's a great companion. Last episode had incredible outcome. Like, I don't know, in 2 days, like 70 people listened to it, which is a lot more than we expected. Or at least than I expected.
Yeah.
Over like 7 hours were watched, like great engagement, and I'm pretty sure that's because people love hearing your voice and people love hearing what you have to say.
Sure.
So please, help them out. Anyways, thanks for tuning in again. I know that maybe again you'd like to be doing something else, chilling on the couch, watching Netflix, but for the sake of everything that we're doing, thank you for being here again.
Thank you for having me.
All right, I want to start off by asking you about your latest projects as a designer. What have you been up to lately?
Well, we recently started and are coming up on the finish of binging The Umbrella Academy on Netflix.
Oh my god, it's sad. We're going to finish it.
And I don't know what happened, but I just clicked so well with it that I made stickers for each character 1 through 7.
Yeah.
And put them up on Redbubble. So that's my most recent, exciting project. I'm also working on Musamp, which is a music and marketing service startup that you and I and a couple other people are working to get out there. Yeah, that's pretty much everything that's active right now. I'm doing a couple logos for some family friends and doing a couple other things like that, but that's pretty much it for now.
I mean, I know.
Hashtag looking for work.
That's what I was going to say. We were talking about this. And for some reason, I wrote this down, I think, 5 days ago. And for some reason, I got it right on the dot. I think that I don't know what your perspective is because I was lucky enough to be employed. So does it feel... How does it feel to go about the uncertainty of having a job and also having the kind of freedom where you can do whatever design projects you want?
I mean, it's tough. I've been looking for a job since before we even graduated SCAT. So we technically graduated in May, but you and I were done in March. And we've both been actively looking for jobs since March. And I've just been getting email upon email, ghost upon ghost. Still haven't heard back from my most recent one. So it's really hard just because I can't make any future plans because I don't know if I'm going to be working at Chick-fil-A because I couldn't find something in my field,
Yeah. I don't know, I don't even remember how many places you have applied until now.
My poor LinkedIn and my poor job recruiting sites are just trying so hard to get me somewhere and nobody wants me anywhere. Glassdoor. So if anybody has Glassdoor, it mostly you can get job notifications for things within your field. So obviously I'm an advertising art director or graphic designer or social media content, regular designer, a range of commercialized designing basically.
And a good one.
And I completely forgot what I was saying.
You were talking about the difficulty of getting a job, and you do so many kind of jobs.
The apps, the websites, I mean.
Yeah.
They've been telling me, Glassdoor, Indeed, ZipRecruiter, LinkedIn, they give me notifications for every designer, graphic designer, art director job that comes out there. And I've applied to every single one that pops up, and it has taken so long, and it has been so long, that they are now resorting to, finally giving me, Dunkin' Donuts crew member or like Wendy's like team leader or something. I'm like, really?
Yeah, they're starting out
Really?
like senior art director.
They had hope for me, like in the beginning. They were like, here's this junior art director, here's a junior graphic designer, here's all these cool agency jobs. And then when they saw that like I just was getting ghosted for most of the things I was applying for, the Glassdoor just decided like, hey, we're gonna give her a little easier job so that she can probably get instead of these, because clearly she's not doing very well in this.
Yeah, like recommended job. Have you tried applying for senior art director? Here's a job at McDonald's.
The majority of the entry-level jobs that I find out there all require 3+ years of experience, and like most of these companies don't even understand what entry level is.
Yeah.
Like entry level is supposed to be no experience, just out of school, barely know what they're doing but trying to get there. Right?
Exactly.
And that's entry level, and now everybody's asking entry level for 3+ years of experience. Internships are asking for years of experience. It's like, how?
Yeah.
It's an internship.
Did you see those crazy places that were asking? I don't remember what it was. I think it was Figma. So Figma is what we used to prototype, remember?
Yep.
Figma is a program that we used to prototype different apps. So we use them throughout the university. They're great to like prototype apps for clients, whatever. Figma hasn't been around for more than, I don't know how many years, I think 3 years. And there was this place that was asking for like 7 years worth of experience for Figma for an entry level job. And somebody was like, dude, Figma hasn't been around for this many years. It's crazy.
I came across on LinkedIn an entry level junior graphic designer position. Like, it had everything laid out. LinkedIn is very organized with their job postings. It said at the bottom like what position. It was an entry level, and the title was a junior graphic designer. And then in the requirements, they were asking for 5+ years of experience.
Entry level
In like junior level.
Yeah. Oh my god, what was it for? What position?
It was a junior graphic design position, and they were saying it was entry level, and then in the little requirements or expectations, it said 5+ years of experience. I was like, how? Where am I going to get that?
Oh,
I
you're
just
an art
got
director?
Out of school.
Oh, you're an art director? You got graphic design experience, right? You're a graphic designer, basically, right?
Mm-hmm.
I saw this. This is like designer humor. I saw this post today. I think I posted it, which is like, hey, I design logos, and they're like, what program do you use, Illustrator or, I don't know, some other fancy program. And the guy's like, Photoshop, like, I use Photoshop too.
That's me.
I use Photoshop. For those that don't know, Photoshop does not create high quality logos. Like, you shouldn't do them in Photoshop.
I actually told like the guy that, so I had an interview for a social media marketing manager position at this screen printing shop, basically, right outside of town.
Still waiting on an answer. But when I was talking to that guy, he was basically explaining like the jobs and all that, and he was like, you'll just have to like jump into Illustrator and do some logos. And I was like, oh yeah, I make logos all the time. He's like, you know Illustrator, right? I was like, oh yeah, I know Illustrator. And then it slipped out, and I was like, but I use Photoshop for most of my logos. And he was like, wait, you don't vectorize them? I'm like, of course I vectorize them. Of course. But he just, like, his face just completely changed image. He was like, wait, you use Photoshop for it? And honestly, that's probably why I haven't heard back. Yeah.
I'm kidding.
Oh my god.
I wish all the best for that company. I wish I could be a part of it.
But yeah, you're right. Just vectorize them. Just fucking image trace them.
It's easy. Photoshop has more...
I don't know. If Illustrator is just so
diversity.
I don't know, demanding. It's just demanding. It's
I
like, you gotta know stuff. You gotta draw. You gotta be...
Photoshop
Photoshop is like, hey, you can unite stuff that already exists together pretty well. Mm-hmm. Anyways. I know that there's a lot of people going on to the same problem of finding a job. Now, I know we went on a tangent, but I honestly know people that are better suited for my position. People that are better copywriters who should be working. And they couldn't get a job.
Mm-hmm. The majority of everybody that we graduated with, advertising-wise, there are maybe 20% of our advertising peers.
And it's mostly people that had an internship before and they had some sort of experience.
Only 20% are actually employed right now.
Yeah, if you had no experience before graduating, like you happened, because it's hard.
You're screwed. Most of everybody else is doing other things outside their field, like regular restaurant jobs, like doing like personal training, like random things like that.
So you had no prior experience before graduating, but why is it? Because I know you had a good reason for it, and it's kind of messed up. And the way the system works of like gaining experience is only for people that can afford gaining experience.
Yeah. So throughout school, I knew, or I was told, like in advertising, obviously, that like you got to get internships over the summer, like you got to do these things to like get yourself out there. But like at the time, my parents were paying for an apartment in Savannah so that I could go to school.
Yeah.
And it was a full lease, so it's not like I could have like stopped for the summer or anything. And my parents couldn't, or not my parents, but my parents and I together, like if I were to help pay for it as well, we couldn't afford to pay for the rent in Savannah and then go find an internship elsewhere, because you can't find an advertising agency internship in Savannah. Like, it's impossible.
Yeah.
You have to go somewhere else to find an internship. And every summer that it came around, I didn't have the funds to go move somewhere for the summer and find like experience.
Yeah, you have to pay lease in both cities.
Yeah, I didn't have the money to pay for rent in both cities, both places. That, and I spent most of my summers throughout college just working regular 9 to 5 or regular like fast food customer service jobs. Like, I never had any internship in my field because of that, because I couldn't go somewhere to get that experience, you know?
Yeah.
Like, I would have to at least get to Atlanta.
Yeah.
And like it was just not possible.
Yeah.
Because my parents were already breaking bank just to pay for the rent in Savannah. I wasn't about to ask them to do more, and I couldn't make that much money as a student. Like, I couldn't do it. I did the best I could, but like minimum wage is only so much. So like a lot of places don't pay enough for you to actually pay a rent anymore.
No, in internship you barely make enough money to pay a rent, and that's it.
Exactly. So like even as an intern, you don't even make that much money, or it might be a fucking free internship, which
those are rare. Like if you're going to a
stupid.
normal agency, like a normal big name agency, you're fine.
Unpaid internships are probably the worst idea ever. Like,
well, no, not really. Because freshmen, I got one as a freshman.
That's fair, but like you're still. It borderlines the whole labor laws of like working for free. Like,
what about working for free and paying to do the work?
Exactly. So
I'm not gonna say no names, but I've done that before. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Yeah.
It's just hard because everybody needs somebody that's experienced. Like the guy I interviewed with, he's probably not going to take a chance on me just because he needs somebody who knows what they're going to do. And he can't guarantee that I know what I'm going to do because I don't have any experience behind it.
I think you know exactly what you're doing. I think you have more than enough experience. And I think for what the job is, which is like a person to run marketing and social media, you've been doing that for 2 accounts separately for the past 4 or 5 months, and you know how to draw, and you have a very good sense of organization, empathy, which is what marketing needs. So I know you kick ass and you're gonna do well, but at the same time I know that you have many months without having a job, and I know that you're a hard worker. I've never seen you not work. First of all, do you have anything that might help people that are in the same situation? And if not, because you don't have to always have the answer. You don't always have to oh, I know what to do. I'm in the situation. But if there's anything worth sharing, what would it be?
Do what you love. If I'm being blunt, I mean, throughout these months of quarantine with my parents and vacations and living here, I've been living on mostly savings and like freelance jobs here and there. So I enjoy it. I just wish that all the things that I was doing could easily pay for my rent and more. Yeah. Because like the amount of jobs that I have now, or the amount of like freelance projects that I've been working on. It's crazy how much
you're getting in, yeah.
I have so many projects to do, but since I'm so early on in the game, I can't charge enough, or I can't charge as much as I'd like to.
But you're being patient.
In order to live like a normal person, like if I were to get the rate that a freelancer at an agency would, I'd have to charge everybody that I'm working for like out their damn ass.
Yeah.
And so that's the most frustrating thing right now, is just like doing all this work, helping all these, like with all these projects because I want to be involved, but not being able to charge enough just because of,
Because
like,
you feel bad?
no, not because I feel bad,
But because you feel like you're not worth that much?
I don't have any credibility. I can't tell my sister that she needs to charge, or I need to charge her $200 per logo, because that's ridiculous.
Well, you
but
have
like, that's
4
what
years
normal, yeah,
and a degree. That's experience. I know that many people are quick to discard a university degree, but people don't understand what that means. It means dedicating yourself to that craft daily.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know the imposter hits.
Mm-hmm.
Imposter
syndrome is,
yeah.
It gets you every time. I mean, it's just hard in general. But throughout all of this, I've been able to just go at my own pace and like figure out my own schedule and figure out what I like to do every day without any responsibilities, like without any projects due on Friday, or without any exams, or without any like working schedule. It's been super helpful to just kind of figure out how I like my day-to-day dynamic.
Yeah.
The only thing about that is now it's getting hard to put myself back into a working schedule, because now I'm enjoying doing things on my own schedule at my own disposal. Like, if I wake up and my alarm goes off at 8:30 and I don't feel like getting up, I can fucking snooze that shit and sleep for another hour. Like, there's nobody telling me I have to get up and go to work. That's the bad thing, is like, whenever I do end up getting back into the workforce, I'm worried that I'm gonna hate it more than I hated it before.
It is a yes sir kind of place.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to last, and I gotta figure out a way to work under my own rules, because I've never.
I think you would. I think you would, because I think the kind of routine would fit you.
Even when we were in like advertising classes, and we would have recruiters, or we would have like people who used to go to SCAD that are now at agencies, we'd have like visitors come talk to us all the time, talk to us about agency life, recruit, all that stuff, and every single time I was just completely uninterested. Every time. I can't tell you a single time that there was a visitor at SCAD during one of our ad classes that I was actually intrigued with.
Yeah.
Like, there was never a single one, because I never wanted agency life.
Yeah.
It was never something that I wanted to strive out. When people would ask me, like, where do you want to go after this, I always told people I wanted to work in-house.
Because that's what you have to, like...
Because...
But also, like, you didn't even know, but you still, like, felt through, like, always you had to say, oh, yeah, I want to go work at an agency, I want to go do that. But you see, like,
everybody made me think that I wanted to work at an agency. And
because
then, like, as
you're
I
trained to be
an
employee.
Exactly. And as I went through and saw people do internships and saw people get jobs and come back... And it's just, it didn't seem like a life that I wanted. Like, I want to work in advertising, but I want to do it on my terms, in a way where I can still make a difference and like make an impact in the advertising world, but without having to do the tedious, like, agency things. Mm-hmm. And anybody who's ever worked in an agency will know exactly what I'm talking about. So, like, I'm not going to explain that. But...
And it's not an excuse. Like, you shouldn't feel bad about that. Yeah. Many people say, like, oh, yeah, you just wanted the easy way. Well, fuck you. Who doesn't want it the easy way? You want... How nice... You like, what you want to say is that you do not like the vibe or the process that goes in an agency? Or do you not like having someone telling you what to do in general? Like, would you see yourself working for somebody else?
It's a little bit of both. I definitely see myself working for somebody else.
Yeah.
It just definitely needs to be somebody who's, like, more like me. Not, like, the big CEO type who's cold that you never see, that you barely even know exists, you know?
Yeah. Like, startup, small shop kind of... Would you do, like, a small shop advertising?
Yeah. I would love to just have a few jobs running, like, here and there, where I'm just running a few social medias, doing a few logos here and there, and that it makes enough for me that I enjoy the work, and I work on my own schedule, and I can still pay bills and not have to worry about where I'm going to get my next paycheck. Yeah. Because right now I don't know.
Yeah, that's totally valid.
And I don't, like, I'm fighting back from going back to the service industry, because I know that once I do that, I'm going to get comfortable with the steady income, and then I'm going to work in the service industry the rest of my life.
And you got to pay like student loans.
And that's why
you got to do all that.
That's why I haven't gotten like another job in between all these. Like, yeah, I'm struggling for money and I complain for money all the time.
I respect the fact that you haven't already given up.
But I already know in my own head that if I go and work at Chick-fil-A, or if I go and work at a coffee shop for the rest of my life, and I make a steady, or like I make enough to like 40 hours a week, you do your time, you clock in, clock out, and you get enough to like, once I do that and I know that like I'm going to be okay doing that, I'm never going to want to do anything else.
Yeah, right.
So like I need to find something that'll pay enough that I can do what I want to do, like designing and like being creative, but like on my own terms.
Right. So you want to be like, have your own business,
yeah,
sell
like
your own kind of art,
freelancer,
whatever you...
maybe.
Yeah.
It's just hard to establish yourself as a freelancer.
It is. It's very hard. It's very hard to get the credibility.
Yeah.
And it's very hard to charge people, and it's very hard to give yourself a price because, and especially now, everybody's starting to freelance. Everybody's starting to work on their own. And the fucked up thing is, like, the way the taxes work and the way systems work, the people that are freelancing and working on their own are getting taxed the most, and they're getting the least amount of money because the system doesn't want you to be that way. Doesn't it make you happy to be a freelancer and sit on the couch, be on your iPad, design the stickers that you want to design from Umbrella Academy or whatever, sell them, work on your brand every day, and eventually get yourself out there and get your name there and sell it?
Yeah.
You'd love that, right? It makes you feel fulfilled.
Yeah.
But you're not working for a company. So what? You're going to get taxed for everything. You get it complicated.
It's funny.
It's not made for you to be happy. It's made for you to be a rat,
The one and only sale that I have on Redbubble right now, just because I released everything yesterday, which it's at Margaret Laufenberg on Redbubble. You can... I'll put the link later.
Yeah, the link is in the description 100%.
The one sale that I made...
Remind me.
It was telling me like the logistics of it, and so one of my sister's friends bought a magnet of each design that I did because they also love Umbrella Academy and they loved it, whatever.
Yeah. And
it showed me, like, Redbubble showed me the breakdown of like the receipt, and so it was like, this is the retail price, and the retail price was like $60. And I was like, oh shit, how much money am I to get for these things? And I went down and it said discounted price, manufacturing price, and then it said all these fees, and I only profited $10 out of that. Like the Redbubble artist only makes like 10%. And I don't really care about the money right now. Like, I really just wanted to put those stickers up because I love Umbrella Academy.
Right.
And I just wanted to, and I felt that, like, there aren't a lot of designs out there for Umbrella Academy just yet, so I figured, like, why not?
So you make a 10% commission on every single sale?
Yeah, so, like, I don't know how much the customer actually paid for them, because I know it was pretty cheap, but, like, the retail price was, like, $50 to $60, and it said, your sales said, like, $9.96 or something, like, not even $10 out of, like, a $50 purchase, which, thank you if you're listening for that one purchase.
Wow, I purchased them too, but they gave me whatever.
That's okay. Well,
but I can't believe they only give you 10%, man. That sucks.
So
that's a 10% margin, let's say. Like, you just get 10%. That's what you get.
With Redbubble, they're doing all the manufacturing for you. Like, I don't have to do the printing, so it's not like I'm gonna complain about it. It's just crazy that, like, out of $50 of retail price, I get 10 of it. Yeah. Because I was the designer and I came up with the idea and I drew it and I did the file and all I did was upload it onto this website and they did all the printing.
Yeah.
So it makes sense. Like, I'm not arguing it. I'm not fighting it. It's just crazy to think that, like, that's how things are. Is like, you want to sell something like that, like Etsy. I know Etsy takes at least 15 to 20% when it comes to, like, shipping and stuff.
Yeah.
If you sell on Poshmark. So you have to sell on Poshmark and you have to basically account for the amount of money that you're going to pay for shipping. Because Poshmark, like, quote unquote, pays for shipping.
Well, you have to do that on eBay as well.
But they don't. So, like, I could sell a bag, like a purse, like a Kate Spade purse, and I could list it for $35 on Poshmark. If somebody buys it at $35, I'm going to get probably 22 of that. Because $6 of it goes to shipping and the rest of it goes towards Poshmark itself. So, like... Yeah,
and people aren't aware that all these little fees, they get them everywhere, you know?
I mean, they know, but they just don't really notice.
And this is my point. This is my point. Even as a freelancer, you cannot have your own thing. Like, it's so hard to just be a
If I
freelancer
just
and like
wanted to,
be yourself. No, you have to have like a platform like Fiverr that takes 20% of your sales or 30% of your sales. You have to have like to sell, you have to sell through a platform. Like, it's hard to do something on your own.
if I wanted to do my own like stickers, my own designs, I'd have to screen print them myself, but I'd still end up having to pay for shipping, still have to end up paying for packaging and all that. So like, obviously in the long run, it's easier just to go through Redbubble because you don't have to do all the processes of like a screen printing shop or like a sticker making shop. So like, it's easy when Redbubble does that for you, but it just sucks that like you're not going to get as much because you don't put in the work, I guess.
Yeah, I get you.
You know?
I get you. Well, thank you for this part. I know that a lot of people can relate to the kind of struggle that you're having. So I have one last question on this topic. What was your experience with freelancing, not for Redbubble, but through Fiverr, before I kind of go in it as well?
So I actually wanted to bring up Fiverr earlier when we were talking about it. It's funny because...
Wait, before I go into it, I just want to explain what Fiverr is. Just because I have this bad habit of expecting for people to know. Fiverr is an online platform where you can sell your services as an artist, as a videographer. There's a lot of things that you can sell your services for, basically anything. And it's a good place, it's a good platform where if you know what you're doing, you can really get in some good sales like I did. But yeah, you can if you're a writer, you can sell your writing over there. It's just a really good place for freelancers to sell their services, you know, for a relatively small fee, you know, like 20% or whatever.
So my experience with Fiverr is that you are the only successful person I've ever met.
I don't even know how. I don't even know.
I don't know how
I usually
either.
don't
I
do
think
that
you
thing.
just caught a really lucky wave at the beginning of COVID.
I'm a good writer.
No, because you started Fiverr at the beginning, like right in March when we moved out of the Blake.
You gotta hit him in the
moved in
crisis.
with my parents. You hit Fiverr as soon as everybody was scrambling to look for like freelance work. But you were the only person that I've found that has been successful on Fiverr. So like, I jumped on Fiverr to do digital illustrations when I got my iPad.
Yeah.
I'm not the best at it. Like it was supposed to be like
I'm
fun
not the
little
best at it
simple
either.
thing as well. But I went on and everybody's asking for like $100 plus for a digital illustration of like the same skill level that I was doing. So I tried just doing like low balls just to try and get something, and I got 3 orders total, all from friends who did it just because they wanted to help me.
Oh my god.
I'm serious. Like,
it's the friend, but it's still at the beginning.
I put
it's
up a
good.
digital illustration gig that I could like take your image and turn it into a digital illustration, change the background, whatever you wanted. Like it was like $10, which was a pretty good deal for the amount of crap I was giving.
Yeah.
And it was you, my friend Jack Donovan, and Javi.
Javi, shout out to Javi, bro.
I did 3 of them, and then Fiverr took my gig off because it was inactive. And I've talked to other people, like the guy that I interviewed with. I told him that I jumped on Fiverr for a bit because he asked about like experience and whatever, and I tried to just throw some random things in there. And he was telling me about how when he was like in between jobs right after school, he was looking to do like graphic designing things on Fiverr as well, and he couldn't make it headway because there were just so many people on there trying to make more money for like really shitty things. So like Fiverr kind of diminishes the quality of art if you think about it. So
it does.
So because like you can go on and you can find somebody's gig that pays $100 for an intro video, but you can find somebody else's who's going to give you the exact same quality for like $60.
Right.
Because somebody's more willing to spend the time and less worried about the money. And so Fiverr kind of like makes that imbalance.
Yeah.
Where like you think that if you're going to pay more, I'm going to get a better quality product. But the way Fiverr's set up is that it's not necessarily that to a T.
It's not. And I can tell you
and it's
exactly
more like
it's not like
it's
that.
more like who gets the like algorithm correctly and who gets at the top of the feed and who is first seen.
It's a combination of things.
Well,
but
yeah, of course. But
I
in
wanted to
my
go
past
into it later.
experience, like my sister Lindsay, she tried doing data entry on Fiverr, and she
Oh.
also said that she couldn't get any headway because there were too many people charging out the ass for it.
Yeah, exactly.
That she would have had to charge lowball to do data
Yeah.
entry because there are so many people there that are overestimating, and there are some people that are underestimating themselves on Fiverr.
Exactly.
That it puts that whole art worth out of balance. And
So what happens
you can't
on
even you can't even figure out like what art is worth and what art is not, you know?
You're right. I
make
do
sense?
believe that it lowers the price a lot, and you were charging like $10 for an illustration that I know takes you at least like 3-4 hours to make, and that's not the real price.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
real price would be, if anything, the lowest would be $10 an hour.
Well, when I first
The
started,
lowest.
when I first started those digital illustrations, there were a couple people that DM'd me on Instagram about it, and I was like, hit me up if you want me to do a cute little drawing for you.
Yeah.
And there was one girl that was like, can you do this for me? And I was like, yeah, of course. It'd be like $30 for one drawing, and it was a pretty complicated picture that she gave me. So I was like, $30 flat, like that'll be it. And she didn't answer me. She didn't want to pay $30 for it. And I was like,
Yeah.
really? Like, and that's the thing is that there have been so many situations where I've like offered my freelance services,
Yeah.
and I've been trying to like help somebody, and because I didn't want to do it for free, or I did it for just a little bit too much that they wanted to pay, they didn't want to do it. And like obviously that's understandable, but it just sucks that like Fiverr and other freelance things like that have kind of like diminished the value of freelance work.
They have.
In a way.
They
In a
have,
way.
and they play an important role, and I believe that as an entry level freelancer, if you really know what you're doing on Fiverr, you can do it. So I just want to go really into it. I don't want to boast or anything, but like when COVID hit, I really understood that life was about to change, and I am the kind of person that when crisis hits, I go for the action because I cannot just stay and like do nothing.
Yeah.
And I know we were at your parents' house, and I was like, I gotta start getting ahead of the game, and I was like, I'll start freelancing my writing. I knew I had to like start my agency job on the 10th or 11th of May, but it was only like March. And the first thing I ever wrote was, I wrote $500 of like, $500, so for 500 words of copy for a Swiss skincare cream.
Yeah, I remember that. It was like a cosmetics company.
It was a
Switzerland.
luxury cream.
Luxury, like,
from Switzerland.
cosmetics.
And this motherfuckers
Like
pay
the
me.
Swiss Estee Lauder.
This motherfuckers pay me $25
$25
for 500 words.
for a whole landing page of words.
Yeah, no, and I put my all into it. And you remember, I was stressed out. I turned in the assignment like a day in early, and then the guy needed more changes, and he paid like $5 for the changes. And I got him some headlines too for free. Like, I threw in everything on my first one because I was like, I cannot believe I have an order on Fiverr. And I really I filled up everything. If you're on Fiverr, fill out every single thing in the description, put up nice pictures in, put your portfolio, and I had a sale. And the next sale, I upped my price to $35. And then suddenly I made another sale. And I wrote like a Patreon. I remember I wrote a Patreon description for like a gypsy singer. It was incredible. I was like, oh my God, I'm actually getting to write for people.
Yeah.
And slowly, I started increasing with every sale, I increased my price. And I can tell you, I didn't know why the fuck I was increasing it. But it worked. Like, you build reputation. You be like, hey, this person left 5 stars. And I always like had incredible customer service. So if you want to succeed on Fiverr, have incredible customer service, under promise. So if your gig says that you're gonna write 300 words, write 400, give them extra, and they're gonna give you 5 stars. If you are promising 3 logos and you throw in 4, they're gonna feel like they're really getting their money's worth. So instead of charging lower, charge a bit more and throw in extra value, and you're gonna get a lot more out of it. But that's what I was doing. I was under promising and over delivering. They didn't know that I had agency experience. They didn't know I was working for a professional advertising agency, so I couldn't charge that. And then I did, and I kept working, and I right now I'm charging whatever I'm charging. And you can, if you need a copywriter to write your own shit, you can go into the description and hire me if you want to get sales. So I made like 20 orders within 3 months that were over $1,400. So it's a side income. It's definitely not something that I focused on my whole time. I didn't focus 10 hours a day to it. I could have probably made it a full hustle.
Yeah, but
if you guys want it, it's like you can really do it. But it's a 1 in a 1,000. I got the right kind of like audience. I was lucky that I had the first few orders in, you know?
Yeah, you hit the right wave when COVID hit.
Yeah, because everybody wanted cheaper copywriting,
needed cheaper stuff because they couldn't afford to hire everybody. Like, what about that guy that was gonna hire us as a team? We had
what the fuck are you?
There was this guy from this digital marketing team. He was one of those typical, didn't go to school but loved advertising and video content. Created his own agency. It became something small, and we applied as a art and copy team because obviously he's a copywriter. I'm an art director. We can work together if necessary. And so back in March when we were still in Savannah, we applied, and he emailed back and said that he was interested, but like COVID was a thing, and like he wasn't that like it, we brushed it off basically because we thought it was just a no.
Yeah.
And then when we actually moved here, he asked to schedule like a video interview, and he explained that like he mostly just wanted to meet us and then hire us as freelancers.
Yeah.
And he told us that he was basically just going to come to us with a project and tell us all the specs, and we do it, and then we send him an invoice as a freelancer does. But that was like 2 months ago, and we haven't heard anything from him. And he like, what
who knows? He's maybe going to come back to us, but until now there's been no.
But either
demand.
way,
and
like,
I understand it. You know, like a lot of the people are not hiring advertising anymore. It's a sad time for advertising, but still. An email to check in, like, hey, dudes, there is no projects. That's why I'm not hiring you to do anything.
Or a nice little email from the recruiter guy, you know. Hey,
oh, okay, this is good. Don't get me started on fucking recruiters, man.
Recruiters and ghosting.
No, like, you gotta stop doing this shit.
First off.
I'm sorry, but it takes so long for people like her, and I have a job. It takes so long, and you require so much of a fucking application. You require a website. You require us to do so many things for you to not fucking answer.
To not even reply.
Or an automatic reply. What the fuck is that?
It's
your job. It's my job to apply. It's your job to answer.
So
let us know at least.
If we're gonna get into
And I'm sorry. Look, I don't mean to disrespect. I know that a recruiter's job is fucking insane. You get like thousands of emails every day. People want to work. How the fuck are you even gonna sort out through the people? I understand your job is hard. But you fucking chose it. So do it. Like, what can I tell you? You chose the fucking job. Like, if you don't want to do it, don't fucking do it. But I have had an incredible experience, and I have to say it, but like where I'm currently working with the recruiter that I'm currently working, she takes care of you. She's honestly the reason why I'm still working.
She takes care of you.
Because of the way she was. And it's all for business, and I understand that, but a relationship matters. So what the fuck, recruiters? Just have a good relationship with the people that apply. Everybody is worthy of an answer. And I'm sorry that I'm like, I'm just, no, I'm a bit true. Like mad. I know there's so many people, good people that applied and they never get an answer on why they didn't get the part. It's stupid.
Last Tuesday, I went for that interview of the social media marketing director, whatever, for just a small little shop. It was going to be a regular salary job, 9 to 5, do whatever I want, run the social media, right? He told me, like, at the interview that I could hear from him a week later. Like, he said, next week, this time.
Yeah.
Like, I can tell you for a fact that's what he told me. And I looked him in the eyes. He said, you can expect to hear back from me this week, or next week, this time. Like, as in, like, this past Tuesday. And I have not heard a thing. That Friday of the interview, I messaged him on LinkedIn because that's where he reached out. And I was like, hey, just wanted to thank you for the conversation. Really looking forward to working with you, and I look forward to like helping your company out, and just like, you know, a little follow-up after an interview as one does. He read it and didn't respond, and here I am Saturday, a week and a half after the interview, still have not heard anything. I could probably sort through my emails and have probably 15 to 20 emails that are like robo responses that say, we have selected another candidate, blah, blah, blah. And like, I do...
Well, at least you get that, man.
At least I'm getting that, and I do appreciate the rejection. Like, I love the rejection better than the ghosting, because I'm sitting here and they're like LinkedIn and Glassdoor, all those things again, they track everything that you apply for on their website because a lot of companies actually use them to recruit. And you could go through my LinkedIn or my Glassdoor and see how many things that I've applied to, and you can see how many of them are closed, and you can see how many of them were viewed and how many were not viewed at all, and how many like were ignored, and you can just see the specs of like the recruiters. And like, yes, I understand recruiters are super busy. Like, you have so many emails, you have so many people wanting the same job at the same time. I get it. But we're also sitting here stressing the hell out over our application or our interview, and the fact that you don't even have the decency to like send me a no email.
I saw this quote somewhere.
Even in like the simplest words, just say, "Hey, we didn't have time for another. I'm sorry, we found another candidate."
I saw this quote somewhere where it said like, "Since when are we the ones trying to fight for a job, and instead of an employer, you know, trying to fight for the perfect candidate,
right?
You know, like you convinced me why I have to work for your damn company."
So all the freaking application processes...
Look, and I don't want to sound entitled. I'm sorry. I don't want to sound entitled. I don't want to sound like a typical youngster, but like, you know, there's a lot of talent out there. I recognize it. Like I said, people far better than I am, and they don't have a job. Well, how the fuck is that, you know?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many situations to where like, I don't even know why I didn't get most of the jobs that I've applied to, because like I would love for the rejection email to include
some feedback,
a reason why as to why you weren't perfect for this job. Like, I want to know why, not because I'm bitter, not because I want to come after you and like whatever, but I want to know why so I can improve and get the job next time.
Yeah, but they don't give a shit. They don't give a shit about doing that.
The majority of the time I get a rejection email, it says, "Thank you so much for your application. Unfortunately, we've decided to go with a different applicant. We hope to keep you in our contacts so that you can apply for future positions."
Yeah, why? Why did you choose them?
Why do you tell me that when I'm probably not... So when I go on LinkedIn, when I go on those job recruiting sites and I see a company that I know and have recognized to apply before and have been ghosted or have been rejected, what inclination do you think that we have that is going to want me to apply again, even though you've already told me no 3 times? You know?
Yeah, and without any like kind of feedback.
With no feedback, what am I gonna? I'm gonna
look. It takes
apply?
time. Like I understand that there's hundreds of people, thousands of people every day that you have to answer to.
You have time to tell me why I'm not right.
Yeah.
Because if you have time to filter me out,
or close that applications when you have like 50 applicants. I don't know, like. Limit the amount of people. We both know that resumes end up in the trash sometimes, like
all the time.
You know, like when there's like a career fair, you get your resumes on the table, you get the resumes that get in the trash.
Career fair is a joke.
Anyways, like it doesn't, like I don't even want to get into it. But what I'm saying is, dude, like if we take so much time to apply for something that matters so much to us, and the job and the place that we're working in doesn't give a shit about who we are and sends you an email that says, "Hey, we just chose another candidate," and doesn't tell you why they chose the other candidate, what that candidate has done in the past for them to be a better candidate than you are. Mm-hmm. I know that it takes time to do all that, but I believe that at least you can at least just say like, "Hey, we chose this dude because," and you don't have to do that for every single person. You just do it once, and you send out everybody a message and says, "We chose you don't have to give out who it is, because they have done this, and this is what we were looking for. And we believe that this is a better candidate." And I'll be like, "Okay, you know what? Fuck it. There's somebody better than I am." But at this point, I don't even know if they chose somebody better than you have or better than I am, because we don't know who the fuck they chose. And we don't know what we could have done better to have been hired. Mm-hmm. It's a fucking rat race. It's a rat race.
There have been so many times where I'm going through an application, and it is there have been multiple times where they're like, "We need you to take this 15-minute long skills test to make sure you know what you're talking about. Or you need to make sure that like you fill in all of your work experience," even though I'm attaching my resume that has all of my work experience on it. And I go through this 20 to 30 minute process to apply to your job, and you can't take 5 minutes away just to tell me no, and you're going to leave me ghosted.
Yeah.
And just be like, "Oh, well, if we don't respond, they'll understand that it's a no."
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's not how it works. I went through a 30-minute, 45-minute process to apply to your job, and you think that it's appropriate just to not respond to that effort that I gave towards your job application, like, that's disrespectful.
That's another level of disrespect.
That's disrespectful, and doesn't even make me want to work for your job in the first place.
Yeah,
like, it doesn't make me want to work for that company if you're going to treat people like that.
It's really hard to get a company that pleases you.
It is. That's why I've always explained that
it's
I don't want to work for a company. I want to work for myself.
Because we have to expect less of a job. We cannot expect a workplace to be like good. Like, we have to settle for it. And people believe that, look at millennials. They're the people that are entitled. Yeah, a lot of people are fucking entitled, okay? A lot of people grew up on accomplishment, like participation awards and whatever. But that doesn't mean that we do not want better workplaces. We want better environments to thrive in. And because what you're saying is like, hey, I want a simple answer as to why I was not the candidate that you chose. This is not a lot to ask. It's a one sentence. Hey, we believe that you do not have enough experience. Or, hey, we saw that your portfolio did not meet our style or our standards. Okay.
Just say we didn't like the way that you write. Like, we don't like your style of writing.
We believe that your voice or your tone is not good. Yeah. Okay, then it's at least something or a direction, you know?
It's something to work off of. But, like, I'm sitting here wondering why this man can't email me back and tell me why I didn't get the job. Or just tell me that I didn't get the job in general. Like, why am I sitting here freaking myself out with anxiety over this job that I probably didn't even get? Because I didn't get an answer. How am I supposed to, like, move on and find a new job when every single job I apply to doesn't even give me an answer at all? Yeah. Like, I don't know when job recruiting and job applications turned into, like, dating. Yeah. Because it did. You know, like, ghosting in dating is so normalized now. Like, oh, he ghosted me because, like, oh, okay, we all understand that. Like, anybody tells you that they ghosted me, they're gonna be like, oh, that sucks, bro. You know, like, there's no questions about it. But, like, when did that become okay in the professional job recruiting world? I don't know when that became okay, because we're adults. We're supposed, like, when we go in for an interview, everybody's expected to wear, like, a power suit or a suit and tie for their interview. But, like, you can't even give me a response and you're gonna ghost me. That's like me showing up for a Tinder date in my wedding dress, and then you giving me an answer if we're gonna get married or not. Never. Like, I show up to this Tinder date in my wedding dress, and then we walk away, and then I expect that I'm gonna get an answer of, yes, I'll marry you, yes, I won't. Obviously, that's a metaphor for randomness.
I fucking love that metaphor.
But either way, like, I don't want to work for your company if your company doesn't even have the time to reach out to me and tell me why I was not meant for the company. Yeah. Like, I don't want to work for any company that ghosted me before. Yeah. It's not a respectable thing. It's not something that I strive for. Yeah. Like, everybody always says communication is key. Like, even in all of these job descriptions, it says active knowledge and communication, or whatever the fuck, like, skills in communication, strong communication skills, whatever the fuck. Those are always the expectations, but then you never hear back from these people that are asking for strong communication skills. It's like, bro, what the fuck are you looking for? That's all.
Alright, hey, let's take a halftime break to, like, go pee, and we'll be back in a second. And we are back.
Welcome back.
So one of the things I wanted to do with this show is I want to learn about a lot of things. And, you know, I learn a lot from her every day on how to be a better person, how to be more empathetic to people. But I also just want to learn about different stuff in general. And one of the things that I've been trying to try more is beers, local beers. And tonight we're trying Sleepy Dog Brewing. And the beer is Wet Snout Peanut Butter Stout. So it's a pretty, you can't show it to you, but it's a pretty cool beer. It literally tastes like peanut butter, and it sounds something like this.
Splattered on my mouth.
And it's fucking delicious. So we're back.
How's everybody doing tonight?
Tonight's a good night. We have fights tonight. We have the Lakers tonight. Israel Adesanya is fighting tonight, and my prediction is third round.
We walked all the way down to the free zoo today for it to not even be free.
Fucking Chicago Zoo, it is free. You just have to reserve ahead of time, and it was reserved out.
Well,
you couldn't go see the fucking animals.
So the entire attraction of the Lincoln Park Zoo is that it's a free zoo that you can just enter. And
yeah, but it's because of fucking COVID.
But because of COVID, you have to make reservations.
Fucking COVID.
Within hours so that they can regulate the amount of people. So we got all the way down there. Walked all the way down there, and we're like, it's a 45-minute walk. So we just figured we were going to, like, do it and just, stop on the way, have a little fun, and then relax at the zoo. We got there. We both had to pee. We were both really hungry. And then we got there, and it said reservations only. And I was like, oh, no, it's probably, like, a private party. Like, literally, we passed so many signs that said reservations only, and I was like, no, that's for something else, I promise. Like, It's not. It's a free zoo. And we get there, and, like, come to find that we were supposed to, like, download tickets and, like, reserve a free ticket ahead of time, and that everything was sold out for the day already. So we were already at the zoo, and we couldn't even get tickets until, like, we could have gone tomorrow, but I don't know if we're going to have the energy to get back down there tomorrow. But it's just stupid that COVID ruined that, because on a normal day we would have been able to walk down there with no plans, no tickets, no reservations, no nothing, and just walk into the zoo, walk around, and then leave. Like, that was my original plan. Listen, I didn't know COVID screwed things up.
It sounds childish, but I really wanted to see the fucking animals today, okay?
I saw the butt of a rhino on the outside of the zoo. But
you didn't fucking show me.
I did. I pointed and said, look, there's a rhino there.
You just said there's an animal.
I said there's a rhino. Or I said there's an animal. It's
fucking,
a rhino.
I could have seen a rhino butt. You prevented me from this.
It looked like a rock, so it's fine.
Alright. Listen, most of this was off script, which was incredible. I just wanted to, like... I did have a few things prepared, and I'm lucky that you wanted to come do this again with me, and
Wait, we're on a script?
Dun, dun, dun. We're not on a script.
We're not on a script.
We have talking points.
I'm so sorry.
So there was a thought throughout my day. I think it was Wednesday this week, and I was just thinking, like, there's a lot of stuff that I wish I was aware of as a kid, or maybe not wish I was aware of. There's 5 things that I definitely didn't know as a kid that was gonna happen as an adult, and I just want to go through them real quick with you.
Okay.
The first one that I was thinking about is that you will stop caring about so many things. You stop caring about so many goddamn things. Like, remember how exciting a water park was when you were a kid? Do you know how much, like, adrenaline you'd build up? Or, like, just a park in general. Like, you'd build... Alright, no, like, still. But, like, what I'm saying, like... I don't know. As a little kid, it used to be, like, another world. Like, you used to cry when they take you away from the water park, you know? Or...
Yeah, I mean...
I'm just saying we're growing kind of numb to both sensations of, like, happiness and sadness. Exactly.
It's adulthood.
You're growing numb to both feelings. Like, you don't want to feel the highest of the highs because you know you're going to feel the lowest of the lows. You don't give a shit about things anymore. Like, you don't give a shit. Like, you know, when that sad moment when you, like, grow up from cartoons, you grow out of cartoons. It's like that. You're like, you stop giving a damn about many things.
Yeah.
Because you don't have time and patience to give a shit about so many things.
Well, it's also just a part of your brain development. Like, as a kid, your brain isn't developed, and like, cartoons were made so that young minds can develop the pictures more. Like, that's exactly
or to manipulate you.
No, we're not getting into conspiracies.
It's not a conspiracy.
It is a conspiracy. Cartoons are not meant to manipulate you. They're just a way to understand images clearer. Like, if you think about it, the
wink,
brain
wink,
works...
nudge, nudge. Listen, I don't want the CIA knocking my door either. Go, tell me.
They're definitely coming after us.
I'm just kidding. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't believe that cartoons manipulate with your brain. I just believe that cartoons are definitely made with a purpose of teaching kids certain things.
Well, yeah,
I don't know if it's always positive things, but it's certain behavior that kids always take from cartoons.
Well, yeah, but in accordance to, like, not caring about things as much is just because, like, your priorities change.
Yeah.
You're responsible for more things. Like, the older you get, the more responsible you have to be. The more responsibilities you get put in charge of. Like,
Yeah.
when you're a teen athlete in high school, your responsibilities are to keep your body healthy, show up to practice on time, show up to training on time,
Oh, don't I know?
keep good grades in school so you can keep playing. Like, those are your responsibilities in high school. But, like, once you get out of there and, like, you're just on your own, your responsibilities change. Your responsibilities are going to be more like, what's going to make me happy?
Yeah.
What's going to get me through life? What's going to, like, what makes me happy? Like, so obviously some people...
What makes you happy, Mark?
I couldn't say. Probably just, like, experiences make me happy. Like,
All sorts of experiences?
in a way, yeah. I mostly mean, like, if we're talking about love language as well as happiness,
Yeah.
then I think it'd be like an experience / like spending time type.
Yeah.
But what makes me happy is no responsibilities, which comes back to, like, being a kid.
Being free?
Being free. Like, what makes me happy is not having to worry about anything.
Yeah.
Like, my favorite time is when we're at the cottage and, like, I don't have to worry about making dinner. I don't have to worry about my car getting towed on the street. I don't have to worry about cooking dinner for somebody else. I don't have to worry about a single thing when I'm at the cottage except for what makes me happy.
And so,
you know?
like, it's not a bad thing, but you basically like being taken care of.
Well, everybody does.
Exactly.
Nobody,
Who doesn't?
Nobody dislikes
It's not something
being
bad.
taken care of. It's more of just, like, I don't have to deal with that responsibility.
I understand,
You know?
yeah, definitely.
And, like, being a kid is not having responsibility.
Yeah.
And so inside, everybody wants to just, like, you stop caring about things when you grow up because you have to.
Yeah.
You know?
Definitely.
Like, I can't care about the little things that I used to when I was a kid now because they'd be irrelevant. They wouldn't be beneficial to my life as an adult.
Right.
You know? It would be harmful in a way, like, mentally.
Definitely.
But
yeah, no, I get it. And this kind of plays into my second one as well. The second thing, like, I definitely wish I would have known, and this is probably the first thing I wish I would have known, is that nobody knows what the fuck they're doing, and nobody knows what the fuck is going on. And now more than ever, I really believe that there's not a lot of people in this world that you can ask, like, hey, what the fuck is going on? Like, what do I need to do growing up in order to be, like, fulfilled or happy? There's very few people that know what the hell is going on. And when you grow up, when you're like a young kid, you think that the adults have it figured out. You just look up at adults, like, if everything over 18 is, like, kind of old for you, you know.
mm-hmm.
And then you grow up to be 18 and you're like, all right, but, you know, not an adult still. And then you're like, you graduate university, you're like, yeah, but, you know, I'm an entry level adult.
Mm-hmm.
And then you look up for someone that's 40, 50, and some of those people don't know what the fuck they're doing either, because it's pretty hard. And it's, like, very scary to know that everyone is just doing their own thing, and I was like, hey, this is working for me. I'm doing this, and this makes me happy, but that's not necessarily going to make you happy. And so as you become an adult, it gets scarier and scarier that you decide your own path instead of having to listen to other people. And I think it's funny because all of our lives we're running away from that authority, like, telling us what to do. And once we get free of the school and of our parents and everything, we're like, oh, shit. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
What do I choose? Like, and you're like, wait, you just want me? You kind of look back. You're like, is it okay if I? And then everyone's like, dude, it's on you. You decide whatever the fuck you want to do.
Right.
And then you look up to other people and you're like, you find out that all along, your parents, your uncles, your older brothers, everybody, your teachers, nobody knows what the fuck they're doing. And if they think that they know what the fuck they're doing, they know even less. Very few people know what the fuck is going on. And that's scary.
In a way, I mean,
there's wise people, but
if you think of, like,
few.
the wide span of life in general, how can you expect anybody to comprehend what our whole purpose is?
I
You
don't.
know?
I
Like,
find that the more that I learn, I know less.
Nobody can even comprehend the actual true amount of people that are on this earth. Like, the mind cannot comprehend that many people.
Yeah,
Like,
and everyone's told, like, there's 7 billion people.
You wouldn't be able to see that many people at once. You wouldn't be able to count them. Like, it's an unfathomable amount of people.
Yeah, 7 billion people.
And so, like,
Eight,
it's
almost.
entirely understandable for
Apparently.
nobody to know what's going on. Because there's so many things that we don't understand that are bigger than us.
Yeah.
That are more powerful than us, that we can't explain.
Yeah.
That we can't understand. That, like, how are we supposed to... No, I don't expect anybody to know what they're doing.
Yeah.
I assume that everybody's, in a way, super depressed and they're just trying to get through life, trying to make themselves happy.
This is the thing that, like, scares me the most. Everybody goes through their life trying to find themselves a purpose. You're trying to find a purpose. I'm trying to find a purpose. And we grow up thinking that our lives are important. I don't know how important our existence is within the whole picture. And for some reason, nobody's... Like, it's scary to stop and think, and that's why so many people place so much value on, like, getting a job and people loving them, and I have done the same thing. Mm-hmm. But how important are we really within the whole picture of, like, existence, you know? And I don't want to sound, like, dreamy and, like... But how important is what we do?
Well, I think everything has a reason.
Yeah, of course, but I think we sometimes... feel like we're so much, instead of like seeing ourselves as part of something bigger, we see it as like, this is my life, it focuses on me.
Well, that's part of the struggle of the human mind, in general, because
you'll go crazy if you start thinking about these
we're
things.
the only species of living being that, like,
is self-aware
and has self-hatred as well, and self-insecurities. Like, there's no other creature that is insecure about themselves, that hates their... No.
It's just different.
It's different, but...
The thought process is different.
We just have so much more complex emotions that we can't process them all correctly because we don't know how. We don't know how to reference them from anything.
We also believe that we think or know a lot more than animals do.
We think we do.
Yeah, because everything we process everything cognitively. Everything passes through our, like, amygdala, which makes us, like, gives us a fight or flight. Some animals just feel things rather than understand things with their brain, which is fucking crazy.
Yeah.
So apart from that, we believe that we're smarter than animals. We believe that we're so important that we're looking for other forms of life as if we're gonna be the only ones. And it's just very, like, crazy. And at the same time, we're like, hey, what's your... dream in life? Nobody knows.
You can't really know your purpose in life if you don't know the meaning of life, or like why you feel that you're here. Obviously, that's why some people seek religion, because that gives you a sense of purpose. Some people seek whatever the hell else, and that's I think that's just what everybody has to go through in order to, like, find their true, like, inner content. Yeah. You know? And that's also, like, when I kind of figured out that, like, my parents are not the most... They're not...
Number 3. My parents don't know it all.
Yeah. My parents, like, I still idolize them. They're still such, like, great people to look up to.
Your parents are awesome.
But I learned that, like, they're not perfect. And
who is?
Well, that's the thing, is, like, when you grow up, you learn that not everybody's perfect. As a kid, you think everything's perfect and everything's great, and, like... And
your parents know it all, and they're always gonna have the answer for everything.
Exactly, because mom and dad always have the answer when you ask as a kid.
They seem to have their shit together.
But growing up, it's not like that. There's real struggles, and it's honestly, like, shell-shocking almost when you hit that little...
moment.
When you hit that point in life where, like, they no longer, like, nobody in your family no longer treats you as a kid.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks of you as the youngest. You're just one of the adults, and you just have to deal with everything else the same.
Yeah.
And that moment that switches is it's overwhelming. Yeah. Because then you start
it's a scary day.
you start to feel that responsibility for your parents instead.
Right.
And no longer are you feeling the protection of your parents, but you have to be the protection for your parents. Because your whole life Your parents protected you. Your parents had the answer for everything. Your parents took care of everything you needed. You asked your parents for whatever you wanted, and most of the time they would do their best and get you whatever you needed as a kid.
Yeah.
And now they still do, but it's like they have their own problems that you're discovering that you didn't know existed when you were a kid. Because now you're noticing that all these little things that you didn't think were anything as a kid were actually like not triggers or signs, but they were just like little like notifications of like, hey, there's adult things going on. And it's
How
just
scary
like
is it?
it's crazy that your kid mind can't fathom or can't understand these things, and that just immediately when you're an adult it's just like, whoa.
Yeah, it's scary, dude.
Whoa,
it's scary to realize.
That's exactly like what they were all talking about. Like when they say,
Yeah.
oh, I'll tell you when you're older, it's like, holy shit.
It's scary to realize that you
Now
finally
I'm
grown
older.
up and you're older and you understand that your parents don't know it all and they do not have the answer to all of your... First of all, they don't have the answer to their problems, and second of all, they don't have the answer to your problems.
Yeah. And now your problems and their problems are merged, but in an inverse way.
I feel like your parents have done a really good job on like not making you be one of those kids that has gone through participation trophies and be entitled. Like you're a hard worker and you know how to earn your value, and they've never given to you easy, and that's why I respect them so much, because I feel like they've grown, like they've raised an incredible daughter. They really have. And you know, my parents too, like my parents came from communist Eastern Europe, communist Romania, and they've gone from a hard background, and no matter what and how they raised us like with their, like they loved us and they wanted the best for us, you know, and they have given us everything they had and a lot of what they never had, especially your, like, you know, your parents too, they gave you stuff that they never had growing up. And my parents too, I grew up an easy childhood. I'm never going to like say that I had it hard.
No.
Because I didn't have it hard and you didn't have it hard either. But you realize that even though you don't have it hard, you grow as up an adult and you still don't have it all figured out. Money is not everything. It sure fucking helps, but it's not everything. And I feel like as kids we expect so much of our parents, and that's why so many people are disappointed in the parents or pissed off at their parents, is because you expect your parents to have the answer to everything. What the fuck, you know? Like, your parents already gave you life. That's already a job done. After that, it's all extra. Like, you know, like, we expect so much of our parents, and, you know, our parents have given us everything. Yeah. And that's all. If my parents are listening, I love you. They probably don't understand what I'm saying.
Our parents give us everything, and I'm not, there's no disrespect. Like, I'm eternally grateful.
Exactly.
For everything I was given. It's just some things just I didn't expect to come upon.
Yeah.
As an adult.
Yeah.
You know?
Both good and bad.
Yeah.
Alright, number 4. Grades are not that important if you're learning. Okay. This is gonna be interesting. On one side, I'm a good test taker. I was pretty good at fucking school. I got good grades all the time. I feel like I didn't learn shit during high school. I don't know how you felt. I don't know what kind of test taker you were. I know that you didn't have a good time, like, complying with the normal school system. I don't want to talk so much about the fact that grades are not important, because everybody knows. Once you graduate, listen, in university, grades are not that important. Pass your fucking class and nobody's going to look at your GPA.
That's true.
Just so you know, I don't know if you're listening to this and you still think your grades are important. They're not. They're important to graduate high school, which is super fucking dumb. It's a standardized way of categorizing everybody based on, like, an ability to memorize things. It's fucking stupid. The school system is stupid.
Yes, it is.
But their grades are not important. What I've learned is that the school system... Has the school system made you curious or made you want to learn more about life? Honestly.
No.
I can honestly tell you that I've always been a curious person, and for some fucking reason the school hasn't managed to kill off my curious, like, itch. But the school's role is to develop kids into people that are curious, right? Like, people that want to learn about things. Do you feel like you've ever been challenged to, like, learn about something that maybe is not school, but something on your own? Like, learn for learning's sake because you want to be more informed about something?
Not necessarily.
Because it was always about a grade.
It was always about a grade.
It's always about fucking
my
grade,
high
man.
school filtered us through to try and help us find our majors already. Even though we're in high school, we just got out of middle school and we're going into freshman year, they would ask you what school of study you wanted to start in. And you're 14 when you enter high school.
How the fuck do you... You're
How
supposed
do
to take the
choose-
2 most important decisions in your life at 14 or the 18 years old.
How are you supposed to choose what you want to do for the rest of your life at 14?
But you cannot drink until you're 21.
We're not even going to get into that. But like then... So everybody would pick a school of study and then switch halfway through, and then they would end up with like this really shitty high school schedule because they wanted to switch like majors. Not majors, but like it was 4 schools of study that was like communication and arts, which was like all forms of art in any way, shape. Like music, regular art, fashion, like all those. And then there was like science and math, and then there was like sport. There was a whole section for like sports medicine and athletic abilities, and then there was like another section I don't remember of like English language, whatever. And you'd have to pick one, and you would take your high school classes based out of that school of study, where you'd take electives underneath that, or you could take this and this and whatever. But like we were already filtered through before we were even out of high school. We were in high school being filtered through in high school. Like that's why I ended up in art, was because like I didn't like science, I didn't like math, I didn't like athletics, I didn't like any of the other options. So I was like, okay, I dislike art the least.
Yeah.
Like that at the time that I had to make that decision, I was like, well, I hate art the least, so let's just go with that one.
Yeah.
And I ended up loving it. So like I'm super thankful, Mrs. Peoples, Mary Catherine Peoples. She changed my art world. She's the one that convinced me to go to SCAD. If she's listening, I love you and I hope you're doing great.
We'll send this to her.
Hopefully. But either way, if she hadn't like not bullied me, but if she hadn't like lightly bullied me through art,
Whoa, okay.
I wouldn't be where I was. Like it was a healthy push where she could see the potential in me that she knew was like hiding, and she just pushed it out a little bit, and it came out. And obviously, like I'm super endlessly grateful for her. I'm a little upset that she stopped teaching. Yeah. But I understand that like newer generations don't appreciate art as much. And
let me ask you this.
And that sucks, but you know.
Let me ask you this. You've learned about art and you had a pretty good formation on art, right? But what about, and I'm not discrediting art or anything out of the school, but I'm saying, did you learn how to file your taxes?
No.
Did you learn how to like apply for a lease?
No.
Did you learn about credit?
No. I only learned how to file my taxes was because I became really close with my accounting teacher. So like there was an accounting section of classes, and you had to take like 2 electives, and again I was picking the lesser of all the evils because I didn't like any of the classes, and I was like, well, accounting will be a good skill just to know in general. Right? So the fact that I had to choose that elective in order to know that knowledge is already like a little red flag, where it's like, why do I get the option of knowing this knowledge or not? Like we should be required to take this. But
exactly.
I took 2 accounting classes, which I probably couldn't even reiterate anything that I did in that class. But I became such good, like, not friends, but I just became close with the teacher that at the time I had asked her, like, I was like, hey, how do I file my taxes? And she like walked me through it, but she didn't even walk me through like doing it in person. She walked me through like the online version of it. So like I don't even know what knowledge that is, because it's literally, it was TurboTax that made it super easy, where you just press all these buttons. So like I'm super thankful for my accounting teacher. Like I learned how to like balance checkbooks and do like assets and equity shit, like random shit like that, where we would have fake like scenarios of money, and we'd have to like balance, and like we want to put in a loan for this, but whatever, and we'd have to like do little word problems like that. And at the time I was good at it, but now I'm like, I don't see where that's relevant in my life.
I mean, it's still pretty good on like, hey, anything that teaches you on how to manage your finances, I think it's in a good step. But
in a way,
were you ever taught like you were never taught how to be something other than an employee? You were taught how to memorize stuff. You were taught how to comply with stuff. Were you ever taught on like hey, this is the way we treat other people. Hey, this
No.
is like the way you can raise your own
No.
crops,
No.
grow your own food.
So
You're
there
not,
was-
I'm sorry.
Mhm.
You're not taught how to like, what have you been taught about protecting your own privacy?
Nothing.
You're not, if anything, you study about like law cases on privacy, but you're not taught on, hey, how to use a VPN, how to secure your connection from other people. If not in high school, in fucking university, you're gonna go around people telling you like, hey, be careful what you post on social media, yet you don't know about the way you're selling your data every single fucking day through your credit card purchases. Nobody teaches you about privacy. Nobody teaches you about the things that the system has going on for them. You're taught, hey, you're gonna graduate, that certificate's gonna give you a job, and that job's gonna give you a salary, and you're gonna climb up the ladder, and then you retire, and then you die.
COVID.
Straight up corona. Yeah. Anyways, I want to go on to the last thing, and I don't even need to turn on
money is not.
Yeah, money's the worst drug.
Money's the worst.
Listen, I need to open one final time. I got a job, and I'm working, and I'm happy, and I couldn't wait till the moment that I could get off my parents' money, like not my parents' money, but my parents' help, and I'm finally independent. I paid back dues and whatever. Once you get that paycheck, you become so attached to money that it becomes like a drug. It becomes like an endorphin hit. You know that every 2 weeks, every Friday morning, you're gonna wake up and you're gonna have a deposit in your account.
You can't.
And it makes you work the next 80 fucking hours of your day working for somebody else's dream.
You can't avoid it.
Listen, I'm thankful to have a job, and I'm thankful to be working. But I'm working for somebody else's dream, somebody else's company.
Avoid it. You can't
And you cannot live without starting.
A job.
Exactly. You're not fucking able to do anything without a job. You can be unhealthy, and if you have a job, you're still fine. You can be unhappy. If you have a job, you're still making money and you can still live. You can be unfit. You can be uninformed, uneducated.
Everything
you can
is
still have a job and you can still get money and be fine. You can be the smartest person, the healthiest person, the nicest person, the most educated person that brings the most value to their community. You don't have a fucking job, you're not gonna get money, you cannot survive. I'm sorry, I'm just like triggered. You can be a person that cares about other people more than they care about themselves. You can be a person that has so much positive impact in other people's lives. And you can be a person that only spreads love. And yet people will still identify you with whether or not you have a job. And you will identify yourself and your self-worth with whether or not you have a job.
You can't live without money.
And you cannot live without money. How fucked up is that? It's a piece of paper. It's sometimes, now it's even credit. It's an unreal number on a fucking digital screen that controls your life. Listen, I'm not talking about communism, socialism, universal basic income. But I do believe that because of money, people chase money and live unhappiness. And I know this is stupid, and I know I come from a place of privilege, so I'm not one to talk about money. I know when I have money and I know when I don't have money, and I know that I would rather be able to make less money and be able to live a life free of answering someone to someone else than having millions of dollars, of hundreds of thousands of dollars, and having to answer to somebody for the rest of my life. And I think you're the same. I think we can offer a lot to our communities, and I think we can offer a lot to other people that we love, like you do. You make my day better. You make other people's day better. You're somebody that lights up the room. You're somebody that really feels for other people, and you help other people. You're someone that, like, other human beings should follow your example. And you don't have a job, and that's your biggest worry, and you don't make money. You can be the nicest person, you could be the most empathetic person that helps the society, and you still can't pay rent. I think we'll leave it on that. unless you have something else.
No.
I think we'll leave it on that. Hey everyone, thank you for coming in and listening one more time. I only want to learn more throughout this process. We'll have a lot of people from different fields and subjects and topics in life.
But let us know if you want us to talk about anything specific.
Let us know what you want to learn more about. If you do want to learn more about anything or talk about anything, please leave us a message, feedback, anything. Please share this with your friends if you feel like it's interesting. We're going to go watch basketball. The Lakers and the UFC is on tonight. Thank you for joining us. And
follow
hopefully
me on Redbubble.
Follow her on Redbubble. Margaret Laufenberg. The link is in the description. Thank you for tuning in.
Thanks for coming, guys.
Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Bye.